My dear friends, thank you for joining me. Have a listen to this. Of course, I'm just playing the chords C, F and G, but I'm making them sound more interesting by adding bass lines between them. Easy bass lines on this slightly out of a tune Taylor guitar. But there you go. Right, it's all live, you know. So what I want you to do, we're going to look at two different ways of doing this. One is like a folky style. So if you want to play like Donovan, Dylan, a lot of that John Lennon stuff where he got into that folky thing, then this is the lesson for you. And then you've got the more country way of playing it, which is the tradition, you know, more James Taylor-y, Paul Simon, you know, that sort of, I'll explain as we go along. Before we go any further, please download your free idiot-proof paperwork, which you will find by clicking the blue link below this video. If you don't see it immediately, click the more button and you'll see it then, okay? Because sometimes if it's a bit too much blurb, then you have to press that to get to see it. This video is brought to you by all my friends on Patreon who support this channel. And also, I'd like to thank all those people who support the channel by making donations to my tea and coffee fund by pressing the thanks button at the bottom of the vids, and they always send a few quid. So thank you for that, it's appreciated. Right, let's get straight into it. Let's look at the folk way of doing things first, okay? Now, for those people that are uncomfortable using a plectrum, we can play this with a thumb and a finger like this. Okay, so we can do that. We have alternatives. Just let me recheck the tuning on this. I haven't played this all week. I've been in Loch Ness, you know, where the monster lives. Trying it. We went down there to do some writing, and we did absolutely none because we were having too much fun in the snow, digging the car out. So this guitar is still tuned what it was to do in Stephanie, so it was it's a bit weird. So anyway, if you're going to use your fingers, or you can go. There's lots of alternatives, okay? So download your stuff, looking at the folk thing first. Now, just for those people new to the channel, clearly this is where you will put your fingers, okay? Clearly, fingers marked thus. There's that word again. And underneath here, you're gonna see the strings that are highlighted with a number. In this case, it's a 5, and later on it'll be a 4. And then the arrows are indicating the way your plec will go, which direction I want you to put it in. All right, so let's begin. So let's play our C, and our very folky way of doing it like this. Your 3 fingers, and your little finger, your 4th finger, is on the 1st string at the 3rd fret, all right? And that's where it's gonna stay. Because the nice thing about these 3 chords, look at the chord first, there's our C. When we come to do an F, now instead of running away, as some of you beginners may do, don't panic, because if you've got that shape in your F that we're going to use, we take those 2 fingers here, we leave this one and this one where they are, and we just bring these 2 down 1 string each, because all we're going to be playing is a 4-string version of that particular F. All right, so we've got our C, we've got our F, and the 3rd shape we're going to use is a G, and we're going to play it by bringing these 2 fingers here up to the bass strings. We'll take this one off, but we will continue to leave the little finger on. Okay? C, F, and G. That's what we're going to do. Now, look down to the bottom of your page 1. You'll see that it's got 5 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up. And the count underneath is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right? So 5 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up. Now there's a little trick here. When you watch a guitar player like me playing this, you'll notice that my hand, it looks like it's, you know, just moving along, you know, parallel to the body of the guitar. But in fact it isn't. When I play a bass string, as in this case the 5th string, I want that bass note to run throughout everything that's going to come next. I don't want to keep hitting it like this. I don't want to do that. So this is the trick. We play our 5, but what we do is, in order to just highlight that 5th string, we pull away at an angle, okay? So 5, and then when we do our up, down, up, we sort of do the angle the other way so as not to disturb it. So slowly it would look like this: 5, up, down, up, okay? And also we would mute our bass string here with our thumb. That's what that little cross is at the top of the diagram. So if we do accidentally hit the 6th string, it doesn't matter because we're muting it. If I didn't have that muting on, it would sound really strange, all right? So let's look at that again. 5, up, down, up, 5, up, down, up. Look at the next shape. We've got another 5, up, down, up. 5, up, down, up. Then on beat 3, you'll notice this finger's been taken off our 2nd finger. Now we're going to play 4 up with this finger off and the 4th string open. And then you'll see the next shape back on and we play 4 up again. So we've got 5 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up, 4 up, 4 up. Okay, I'll count it in the beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it always happens on the beats 3 and 4 in this instance of the 2nd bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and at which point we will turn the page and we'll look at F. And we'll bring these 2 fingers down here and we'll look at it again, and you'll see that it's almost the same sort of thing, but this time our emphasis is on the 4th string. Okay, let's have a look. First bar, 4 up, down, up, 4 up, down, up. Okay, that's our 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2nd bar, a little bit of movement, still on the same shape for the first couple of beats. 4 up, down, up. Then we're going to do our descending bass line. By adding our 2nd finger, we take this 3rd finger off and bring this 2nd finger up to play the 4th string. Sounds weird when you do this in isolation. And then bring it off. I'll play those 2 bars again. 4 up, down, up, 4 up, down, up, 4 up, down, up, 4 up, 4 up. It's all on the diagram. You can't cock it up, okay? 4 up, down, up, 4 up, down, up, 4 up, down, up, 4 up, 4 up. Be careful with these 4s. And then we look at our page 3. We're back to C. Okay, so how do we get back to there? Well, we take these 2 fingers and we just move them up towards the ceiling by 1 string each. Okay, look down below, similar pattern. 5 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up. Now we're going to be moving to a G, so our bass notes are going to move in the same way they did on the F, but on the string above. But this finger will now come up to the 5th string and you'll play 5 up. It sounds a bit odd in isolation, but it's not when you play it in context. And then finally, you'll bring this finger off and you'll play 5 up again. I'll play that slowly. 5 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up, 5 up, 5 up. I'll now do it again with the count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Notice the way it's always on the 3 and 4 and. So those fingers are now off. We've got 2 fingers still on. And now we're going to move to our G. Our little finger will remain where it is, as it does throughout. And these 2 fingers will jump up to the bass strings. Same sort of orientation. This finger will now come off. All right, we must bring that off. Look at our bass notes. Oh, we're on the 6th string now. Same type of pattern. 6 up, down, up, 6 up, down, up, 6 up, down, up. Release our 2nd finger to play the 5th string open for the 5 up, 5 up. Put it back on for the 5 up again. Okay, I'll do that again. 6 up, down, up, 6 up, down, up, 6 up, down, up, 5 up, 5 up. With the count, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, at which time we will move the back into position on the C, reintroduce this finger, and we start again. Okay, do you get the idea? I haven't played for a week, so my hands are a little bit tender. Right, so that is how you play the folky style of, you know, to move around those bass notes. You know, you may say, well, what songs would I play with that? Well, you know, I'll put a cap on. These things sound great with a cap on. Just for, say we were going to, I'm not going to sing the song because I'll get a copyright, but you must have heard things like that, you know, Donovan, or, you know, you've got a bit of Dylan. By the way, there's a Dylan film coming out shortly, and one of my students told me, so you're going to just get blitzed with Dylan stuff, so, you know, have a look at that, because when it comes out, everyone's going to be wanting Dylan songs. All right, let's have a look at the, this is a little bit more complicated, not much, because we're going to put an alternating bass line in now. What does that mean, I can hear you say? Well, instead of playing our C like this, still using the same chords, C, F and G, slightly different inversions, nothing too difficult. Instead of playing our C like this, we're going to play our C like this, okay? Why we're doing it like this is because we want to bounce from our 5th string to our 6th string to give it this sort of you can already hear the sort of songs that you can play with this. All right, anything to do with that country, folky, everything really, you know, Beatley, Kinksy, all that sort of stuff. Right, this is, have a look at this one now. Okay, well, look, we're back to page 1. You've got 2 lots of paperwork. This is to look at the more complicated one. I've called this country folk general because it covers everything, this one. I didn't do this first because it might put a few of you off. The other one was easier to play. So have a look at this one. All right, same thing. Look down below. You'll see it's marked out in exactly the same way. But you'll notice that the bass notes are alternating. So here's our C. And this time I'm going to play 5 up, down, up, 6 up, down, up for the first bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again, look at the way I'm doing the pleck. See, pulling away. So isolate the bass string and then sort of slicing it the other way so as to, you know, keep the bass note from being struck again. Then up to the bass string, 6th. Now, just before we move on and before I forget, if you have trouble holding a pleck, imagine that your thumb is the downstroke of the pleck, and your finger can do some of the rest of the work. So 5 up, down, up, 6 up, down. That's how McCartney plays. And I'm only using the one finger. But it works great. So you can always do that if you struggle holding a pleck, as some of us do, you know, at the beginning anyway. Let's have a look. Let's carry on. So we've got 5 up, down, up, 6 up, down, up. Now onto the second diagram. 5 up, down, up. Bring this finger off, your second finger off, and play 4 up, and then put it back on. 4 up again, similar to the first one. 5 up, down, up, 6 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up, 4 up, 4 up. At this point, we will turn the page and we'll see that our F is there. It's a simplified F, okay? We're going to take our first finger and lie it across 2 strings, and whilst doing that, we shall move these 3 fingers down 1 string each, and we will bring our thumb up to the bass string just to mute it. We don't want to play it, we just want to mute it, okay? Because we're going to use our 4th string, which is the octave of the F. The F here, we're going to use our 4th string as our bass guitar, okay? And bounce to the 5th. Okay, what are we going to do? We look down the bottom and we say, oh, this is similar to before. 4 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up, 4 up, down, up. At which point we will bring this finger up to the 4th string, 2nd fret, and we will go 4 up, 4 up. Don't worry about any strangey little notes there. It's all part of playing the guitar. So we've got... context, it sounds great. Okay, so we've done our F, we go back to our C, 5 up, down, up, 6 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up, and then we're going to move to a C to a G. How do we do that? We bring this 2nd finger up to the 5th string, 5 up, don't worry about the weird sound, it won't sound weird when in context, 5 up, I'll play that 2 bars, there's 2 bars, 5 up, down, up, 6 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up, 5 up, 5 up. Okay, sounds fine. And then these 3 fingers here will pounce onto the, great word, pounce, onto the G chord. Don't try doing it like this, get used to playing your G like this. Look down below, you'll see we're going to bounce from the 6th string to the 5th. 6 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up, 6 up, down, up. Bring these fingers off. Now you can bring them both off if you like, you know, but for the sake of the diagram, just bring this one off for now. 5 up, 5 up. A professional player, somebody that's played for a while, would bring these all his fingers off because he can make sure he doesn't hit that 6th string. That's what I would do as a player for many years. So I would play like this. But yeah, I've got to be careful not to hit that bass string. In fact, you'll notice when I did that, I sort of swung my thumb there. It just comes instinctively now with me. And for those people who've been playing a long time. But for the sake of the diagram, let's do it again one more time. 5 up, sorry, 6 up, down, up, 5 up, down, up, 6 up, down, up, 5 up, 5 up. At which point we go back to our C. Now when you've done that, you could also go to the folky thing that we did before, and we could actually alternate the bass notes there. But you may say, well, how are we going to do that? Because we've got all our fingers locked up onto the shape. So if I'm playing the C here, how can I play the bass note the way we were doing it? How can I do that if I've got all my fingers there? What, you know, well, we use this finger to do 2 things. We'll play Anyway, that's how you do that. What I'm thinking of doing on Wednesday as well is looking at some other chord progressions, because once you've got the C, F and the G, which are quite tricky, you know, there's other ones that you can do, like sort of G, E minor, C, D, and you get into all that all that sort of stuff. Anyway, there we are. So that's how you move from one chord, your C's, your F's and your G's, and to give it a bit more colour, and it gives you the impression to the listener that there's more going on than just the one player. And indeed there is, of course, because you're playing doom, doom, you're playing your bass guitar and you're playing your rhythm guitar all at once. And if you put a voice over the top of that, it sounds really full, and off you go, you're laughing. And don't forget, players like Dylan and Donovan, once they learned how to play the C and the F and the G, when they wanted to change the key of a song, say they'd written another song, they wouldn't learn it necessarily, they wouldn't learn a load of new bunch of chords. They'd just put a capo on and play the same ones. If they can play something really well, then they'll just say, well, I like playing the C shape or the F and the G, and they'll just put a capo on. So say they were doing a song and it was in the key of a D, and but they wanted to play the patterns that they like, they would just put a capo on at the 2nd fret, play the C shape the way they know and love, and hey presto, they're in the key of D. Look at the Cage System video I did if you don't know what I'm talking about. Also look out for that masterclass thing. I've put them on what is it? Not a favorite. What do you call it? A playlist. I've put the 8 masterclasses I did on a playlist. So if any of you people are new to this channel and you want to, and you're starting off and you think, well, hang on a minute, you're a bit far ahead of me there, Mr. Fenner, with your hat on. Go and look at go on the playlist. You'll see it there. From 1 to 8, if you can get through that, and they're only short vids, but it's enough to stop you making daft mistakes. Right, thank you again for the tea and coffee fund. There's a thanks button at the bottom if you want to continue to keep me drinking this. Get onto Patreon. I'm putting all sorts of stuff up there. It's not in place of YouTube. I'm still doing my 2 videos a week as normal. It's just behind the scenes stuff, lots of other bits and pieces. Okay, so I'm charging a tenner a month because that's the way it is, Can't do everything for now, can we? It's got to make a living, But have a look at that. But as I say, on a serious note, it's not going to affect my YouTube stuff whatsoever. The stuff on here will always be free. All the downloads will be free. Patreon is additional. It's an additional thing. Goes through following me around the recording studio and live gigs and everything, historical stuff as well. Right, on that note, I shall love you and leave you. Enjoy this one. I shall see you again on Wednesday, all right? And we'll maybe do a few more of those bass runs between a few more different chords. Till then, love you and leave you. Take care. Bye-bye.